Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Numbers 5 and 6. In Numbers chapter 5, God addresses issues that could defile the camp. Because remember, his presence dwells among his people. We need to make sure that the temple, the community, the tabernacle, the entire camp is holy and sacred and follows a certain set of orders. Remember that whole God is a God of order thing? First of all, he commands that anyone with an infectious skin disease or a bodily discharge be sent outside the camp, not as a means to be cruel, but to protect the community's holiness and their health. God's going to outline how to handle confession and restitution and restoring someone back to a place of right once they've been wronged. It's not enough just to say, I'm sorry. They also must repay what was lost, plus this additional 20% thing. Could you imagine if we did that today? All right, so then comes this challenging section, the test for an unfaithful wife. If a husband suspects his wife of infidelity without proof, mind you, she undergoes a ritual before God to determine her innocence or her guilt. While this seems strange to most of us today, it was a way to bring justice into God's hands and not take justice into our own. All right, so Chapter 6 introduces what's called the Nazirite vow. This is a voluntary commitment to God for a set of time. Nazirites would abstain from wine or anything grape-related for that matter. They would avoid cutting their hair, and they would steer clear of dead bodies, even if a loved one dies. Why, you might ask? Well, this vow is about total devotion to God and separation for God's purposes. Samuel, Samson, and John the Baptist later live out versions of this very same vow. All right, the chapter is going to end with a priestly blessing. This might sound familiar. It's in a lot of our worship services, although I don't use this one. That doesn't mean I don't value it. It just means I don't use these words. So this is what's called the Aaron, not ironic, but Aaronic benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord look upon you with his favor and grant you his peace. Now, this blessing isn't just a poetic thing or a poetic phrase. It's a reminder of God's favor, presence, and peace that rested upon his people of Aaron's day, but also upon you and me still to this day. If we're going to kind of summarize all this, we realize that God cares about both the big things and the small details of our lives, how we treat others, how we handle sin, and how we dedicate ourselves to following him. Holiness isn't optional when God lives among his people, and he lives among us. Therefore, we should be living lives of holiness as well. That's it for today. Be well, friends.